Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today not as someone who's always had it easy, but as someone who has learned that the greatest power we hold is the power to believe in ourselves. Life, as we all know, doesn't always unfold the way we expect. We face setbacks, challenges, and moments that seem like they will break us. But what I've come to realize through my own journey is that our strength does not come from what happens to us. It comes from how we choose to respond to it. When life throws its hardest punches, it's easy to feel small, to doubt our own worth, to wonder if we're strong enough to keep going. But let me tell you this, you are enough. You've always been enough. The very fact that you are here, breathing and dreaming, means you have everything inside you to overcome what's ahead. I was told many times that I wouldn't be able to do this, that I would never accomplish that the world would see me as limited. But I refused to let those voices define me. I decided to redefine my own story. And the moment I chose to believe in myself, that's when things began to shift. Belief is powerful, friends. It's the invisible force that carries us through the darkest times. When you believe in yourself, you unlock a reservoir of strength, determination, and courage you never knew you had. You begin to see possibilities instead of obstacles, opportunities instead of limitations. You may not always have control over the events in your life, but you do have control over how you respond. You get to decide. Will you see yourself as a victim of circumstances or as a survivor, someone who rises stronger every time life knocks you down? I've been there. I've faced struggles that seemed insurmountable, but in every challenge, I found a lesson, and every lesson became a stepping stone toward who I am today. So to each one of you here today, believe in yourself, not just when things are going well, but especially when things are tough. Trust that you have what it takes. You are your own biggest advocate, your own cheerleader, your own hero. The world may doubt you, but you must never doubt yourself. Remember, the strongest tree grows in the harshest storms. The brightest stars shine in the darkest nights. Your potential is limitless, and it all starts with one thing: belief. We often hear the phrase, "You are stronger than you think," but how often do we pause to truly understand what that means? Strength is not just physical, it's emotional, mental, and spiritual. It's the resilience you find within yourself when faced with adversity, the courage to take the next step even when the road seems unclear, and the belief in your own ability to navigate through challenges, no matter how daunting they may appear. The real strength lies in the moments when we feel the weakest, yet we rise again and again, proving to ourselves that we are capable of far more than we ever imagined. Life in its nature is unpredictable. It throws curveballs, challenges, and difficulties that often feel beyond our control. We cannot always choose the circumstances that come our way, but we can choose how we respond to them. That response, often born from a deep well of inner strength, becomes the determining factor in how we move forward in life. Strength is not about never feeling weak. It's about how you rise after every fall. There is an innate power in each of us that often goes unnoticed. We can be unaware of this internal well of strength because we have been conditioned by society to look for answers outside ourselves. We are taught to seek validation, to look for approval, and to rely on external sources for assurance. This outward dependence can sometimes blur the connection we have to our true selves. Yet, when we face hardships, we discover that the answers we seek, the strength we need, and the resilience to overcome challenges are already inside of us. Consider this. When you experience a setback, whether it's personal, professional, or emotional, there's a moment when you feel like you're at your lowest. It's easy to give in to despair and self-doubt. It's easy to listen to the voices, both external and internal, that tell you that you're not good enough, that you're not strong enough, that you won't be able to make it through. But in those very moments, something incredible happens. If you allow yourself to sit with your pain, to face it instead of running from it, you begin to tap into a deep, untapped well of strength. This strength doesn't come from the absence of fear. It comes from moving forward despite the fear. It doesn't come from never feeling doubt. It comes from pushing through the doubt, knowing that even if you falter, you will rise again. When life brings you to your knees, your true strength emerges not as a sudden surge of power, but as the quiet determination to keep going one step at a time. It is in these quiet moments when everything feels uncertain that your inner strength whispers to you, reminding you that you have faced challenges before and come out stronger. You have weathered storms and emerged on the other side wiser and more resilient. Your strength is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process that builds with every challenge, with every obstacle you overcome. Strength is not an external trait that you have to earn from others. It is inherent in who you are. It is your ability to persist when others may falter, your ability to rise when you have every reason to stay down. It is the voice within you that says, I may not know how I'm going to do it, but I will keep trying. It is the resolve that even when the path ahead seems unclear, you trust yourself enough to take the next step. This strength, however, is not something that is developed overnight. It is cultivated through experience, through failure, and through triumph. Each time you face a challenge and overcome it, you build resilience. You add layers to your emotional and mental fortitude. And over time, the belief in your own strength becomes unshakable. There are times in life when others will tell us what we can and cannot do. They will place limitations on our potential, often based on their own perceptions, experiences, and biases. These external voices may come from well-meaning friends and family, society's expectations, or even the media. They will often try to define us, box us into roles, and set boundaries for what we can achieve. It is easy to allow these voices to shape our beliefs, to accept the limitations others place on us. But the truth is, no one else gets to define what we are capable of. Only we do. When we allow others to define us, we hand over the control of our lives to someone else. We allow their opinions to dictate our choices, our dreams, and our aspirations. This is where we lose our power. No one can see the potential within us as clearly as we can see it ourselves. Only we know the depth of our abilities, the strength of our desires, and the potential for greatness that lies within. To truly understand this is to recognize that the power to create the life we want is in our hands and not in the hands of those who try to limit us. Limitations are often not real. They are merely perceptions. They are stories we tell ourselves based on past experiences, fears, and the opinions of others. Sometimes we internalize these limitations, believing that we are not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough to succeed. But what if I told you that those limitations are not facts? What if I told you that they are simply mental barriers we construct for ourselves based on our fears and insecurities? We have all encountered people who, despite being told they couldn't do something, went on to prove everyone wrong. They refused to accept other people's limitations on their potential. These people saw beyond the doubts, the discouragements, and the negativity surrounding them. They saw only their own capabilities, their own dreams, and their own future. They believed in themselves even when others didn't. And because of that belief, they were able to push through the barriers that society had placed before them. It is in these moments that we must recognize the importance of self-belief. When we allow ourselves to believe in our potential, we free ourselves from the chains of other people's opinions. We stop seeing ourselves through the lens of someone else's limitations, and instead, we begin to see ourselves through the lens of possibility. We begin to see all that we are capable of achieving, regardless of what others say or think. Belief in yourself is not arrogance or pride. It is simply the recognition that you are capable of achieving greatness. It is acknowledging that you have the strength, the resilience, and the creativity to overcome whatever obstacles may stand in your way. Believing in yourself means that you trust in your own abilities and you have the courage to pursue your dreams no matter how far out of reach they may seem. Of course, it is natural to seek validation and support from others. We all want to be encouraged, supported, and celebrated, but we must never rely solely on external validation to define our worth. When we base our self-worth on the opinions of others, we give them the power to control our sense of value. It is important to surround ourselves with people who uplift and support us, but ultimately, the foundation of our belief must come from within. When we stop allowing others to define us, we begin to unlock our full potential. We stop holding ourselves back because of what others think. We stop doubting ourselves based on the judgments of others. Instead, we focus on our own journey, our own growth, and our own progress. The most successful people in life are often the ones who are unapologetically themselves, the ones who follow their own path regardless of the obstacles or judgments they face. This is not to say that we should ignore constructive criticism or feedback. Feedback is valuable and it helps us grow and improve. However, we must learn to differentiate between helpful feedback and the negativity that holds us back. The feedback that holds us back often comes from people who have never walked the same path we are walking or who are too afraid to take the risks we are willing to take. Their limitations are not our own, and we must not allow them to become our reality. The key to overcoming these limitations lies in self-awareness. It lies in recognizing the power we have to choose our own path, regardless of what others say. When we can confidently say, I am not limited by anyone's expectations of me, we free ourselves from the constraints that others have placed upon us. We stop living for the approval of others, and we start living for ourselves. When we live for ourselves, we find the courage to take risks, to step outside our comfort zones, and to pursue our true passions without fear of judgment. This shift in mindset allows us to create a life that aligns with our true desires and aspirations. It allows us to break free from the chains of other people's limitations and carve out a space for ourselves where we can thrive and grow. By believing in ourselves and refusing to accept the limitations placed upon us by others, we step into our own power. At the end of the day, the only person who can truly define your worth and your potential is you. Others can offer advice, support, or even criticism, but the final decision on what you are capable of achieving lies within you. The world may try to tell you what you can or cannot do, but you have the power to prove them wrong. When you believe in yourself, you free yourself from the limitations that others try to place on you. You create a future that is shaped by your own dreams, your own abilities, and your own vision for your life. By refusing to accept others' limitations, you step into a world of infinite possibilities, a world where you are the one who decides what you can accomplish. Life is full of challenges, and we often find ourselves facing situations that seem impossible to overcome. At times, these challenges can be overwhelming, and we may wonder if we'll ever find a way through. But what I've come to understand is that within every challenge, there is an opportunity, a chance to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. When we face difficulties, we are presented with a choice. We can let them break us, or we can use them to build ourselves up. The decision lies in how we perceive and approach these challenges. We all encounter failure at some point in our lives. It's a natural part of the human experience, and yet we often view it as something to be feared, avoided, or even hidden. We associate failure with weakness, with not being good enough, with falling short of expectations. But what if failure wasn't something to fear, but rather something to embrace? What if every failure was simply a lesson, a stepping stone that brought us closer to where we need to be? When we fail, it doesn't mean we are broken or incapable. It means we are learning. And growth often comes from the most difficult experiences. Think about the times when you faced a challenge and thought you couldn't go on. Perhaps it felt like you were stuck in a situation with no way out. But over time, you gained new insights, developed new skills, and learned more about yourself. You grew stronger, more capable, and more resilient. Each failure wasn't the end of the road. It was a lesson that led to your next success. The truth is that failure doesn't define us unless we allow it to. We have the power to choose how we react to setbacks. We can view them as personal failures that diminish our worth, or we can view them as opportunities to improve and move forward. It's all about perspective. When we face setbacks with a mindset that embraces growth, we open ourselves up to the possibility of becoming better versions of ourselves. In those moments, we learn the most valuable lessons, the ones that teach us patience, perseverance, and resilience. Sometimes it's not just the failure itself that challenges us, but the way we react to it. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go according to plan. We may feel disappointed, frustrated, or even embarrassed. But in those moments, it's important to remember that our value is not determined by the outcome of a single event. We are not defined by our failures, and we certainly are not defined by the judgments of others. Our worth is intrinsic, and our ability to rise again after a setback is what truly defines us. When we start to see failure as a part of the journey, we free ourselves from the fear of making mistakes. We no longer see each challenge as a reflection of our worth, but rather as an opportunity to learn and grow. This shift in mindset allows us to take risks without the fear of falling short, because we understand that even if we do fail, we are gaining something valuable from the experience. This perspective empowers us to move forward with courage, knowing that each step, whether forward or backward, is a part of our progress. As we face obstacles, it's also important to remember that setbacks are not permanent. Life is full of ebbs and flows, highs and lows, and nothing lasts forever. The difficult times we face may feel like they will never end, but they always do. Every storm eventually passes, and after the rain comes the sunshine. The resilience we develop during tough times prepares us for future challenges and teaches us how to navigate the uncertainties of life. When we emerge from a difficult situation, we are often stronger, wiser, and more confident in our ability to handle whatever comes our way next. We often think of ourselves as limited by the circumstances around us, by the situations we find ourselves in, and by the challenges we face. It's easy to look at the obstacles ahead and feel like we're not enough, like we don't have what it takes to rise above them. We may look at others who seem to have it all together and think that they have something we don't. But the truth is, we are all enough exactly as we are. The only thing that can truly limit us is the belief that we aren't capable of more. And that belief is something we have the power to change. The concept of being enough is often misunderstood. It doesn't mean that we are perfect, nor does it mean that we reached some ideal version of ourselves. It means that right now, with all of our imperfections, flaws, and challenges, we are enough. Every single person on this planet has value, and every single one of us has a unique set of abilities, experiences, and perspectives that make us who we are. These qualities give us the strength to face the world and contribute something meaningful, whether we recognize it right now or not. So many times we feel unworthy because we are comparing ourselves to others. We look at someone else's success, and instead of being inspired, we feel defeated. We tell ourselves that we will never reach the same level of achievement, that we'll never be as talented, as confident, or as capable. But that comparison is an illusion. The truth is that no one else's journey is the same as yours. The path they've taken is unique to them, and yours is unique to you. What works for someone else doesn't necessarily work for you, and your worth is not dependent on how you measure up to others. You are enough as you are, with your own set of experiences, strengths, and challenges. We are often told to be better or to do more in order to prove our worth. Society places a lot of pressure on us to constantly strive for perfection, to achieve more, and to keep pushing forward, no matter the cost. But what happens when we never feel like we are enough? What happens when we are always chasing the next milestone, the next achievement, and the next version of success without ever stopping to recognize our inherent value? We end up feeling burned out, unfulfilled, and disconnected from ourselves. We forget to celebrate who we are right now in this moment because we are too focused on what we still need to achieve. Being enough doesn't mean that we should stop growing or striving for more. It means that we should stop chasing external validation. We should stop measuring our worth based on the standards of others or the expectations of society. When we learn to embrace ourselves as we are, we give ourselves permission to pursue our goals from a place of self-love and self-respect rather than from a place of insecurity or fear. We stop looking for validation outside of ourselves and begin to recognize that we are worthy of success, happiness, and peace simply because we exist. This is where the power of self-belief comes in. When we truly believe that we are enough, we no longer seek approval from others or rely on external factors to validate our worth. We understand that our value is inherent and that it doesn't depend on what others think or what we accomplish. We begin to trust ourselves, to trust our instincts, and to trust that we are capable of achieving the things we set out to do. With this belief, we stop second-guessing ourselves and start taking bold actions toward our dreams. Believing that you are enough also means embracing your imperfections. None of us are perfect, and yet that imperfection is what makes us human. We all have flaws, setbacks, and mistakes, but those don't make us any less worthy. In fact, it is in our imperfections that we often find our greatest strength. When we accept ourselves fully, flaws, mistakes, and all, we stop being held back by fear and shame. We begin to see that it is okay to make mistakes, to fall short sometimes, and to not have everything figured out. We are still worthy, and we are still capable of creating something meaningful. The world is full of voices that tell us we need to be something else, that we need to change in order to be accepted or to succeed. But when we believe that we are enough, we silence those voices. We become the architects of our own lives, the ones who define our worth and our potential. We stop letting the opinions of others dictate how we see ourselves, and we stop letting society's standards of success define what we can accomplish. Instead, we chart our own path, embracing who we are and what we have to offer. There will always be challenges ahead, always be obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. But when we believe in our own worth, we face those challenges differently. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable, we see them as opportunities to grow, to learn, and to prove to ourselves just how much we are capable of. When we truly believe that we are enough, we approach every situation from a place of confidence and strength. We are no longer intimidated by challenges. Instead, we see them as a part of our journey, as something that will only make us stronger. The truth is that you don't need to be anyone else to be worthy of your dreams. You don't need to meet the standards of others or fit into some mold to achieve success. You are enough as you are, and everything you need to succeed is already within you. The moment you believe that you are enough is the moment you begin to unlock your true potential. When you embrace your own worth, you free yourself from the limitations that others have placed on you, and you begin to create a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and true to who you are. Believing that you are enough is not a one-time realization. It's a practice. It's a choice you make every day to honor your worth and to stop seeking validation from others. It's a decision to embrace yourself, flaws and all, and to trust that you have everything you need to create the life you want. When you believe you are enough, you stop waiting for permission to live your dreams. You start living them fully and unapologetically. The path to success is rarely linear. In fact, it's often filled with twists, turns, and unexpected detours. For many of us, the journey is not always smooth, and the road ahead may seem unclear or full of obstacles. In those moments, it can be easy to become disheartened and question whether success is truly within reach. But the truth is that setbacks, challenges, and delays do not define your ability to succeed. What truly matters is your willingness to persist, to keep moving forward despite the hardships. Success is not about never facing obstacles. It's about how you respond to them and your determination to continue, even when things seem tough. We've all been in situations where we feel like we're not making progress, where it feels like the goal we've been working toward is slipping further out of reach. Maybe it's because of a setback, maybe it's because things didn't go as planned, or maybe it's because of external circumstances beyond our control. In those moments, it's easy to feel like giving up is the only option. But what if I told you that the very thing that's standing between you and your success is simply the decision to keep going? Persistence is a powerful tool. It's the quiet strength that pushes us through the tough times. It's the ability to get back up after falling, to try again after failing, and to keep moving forward even when it feels like everything is against us. It's not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about showing up again and again, no matter how difficult it gets. The people who ultimately succeed are not necessarily the most talented or the luckiest. They are the ones who refuse to give up, who keep going when others might have quit. One of the hardest things to understand when pursuing success is that there is no such thing as an overnight achievement. Every accomplishment, big or small, requires hard work, patience, and an unwavering belief that what you're doing matters. Success is not a destination you reach quickly. It's a journey that requires time, effort, and consistent progress. Often, the path is long and the results may not be immediately visible, but that doesn't mean progress isn't happening. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to your goal. Persistence also means accepting that there will be challenges along the way. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the road feels too long or too hard. It's important to understand that these moments are part of the process. They do not signify failure. They are simply a natural part of growth. The key is not to let these challenges define you or deter you from your path. Instead, they should serve as reminders of your resilience and your ability to overcome whatever comes your way. Success is built on perseverance, and each obstacle you overcome makes you that much stronger. In addition to persistence, maintaining focus is also essential. It's easy to get distracted by the ups and downs of life or by what others are doing. We may look at other people's successes and wonder why we haven't achieved the same things. However, comparison is a thief of joy and progress. Your journey is unique to you, and your timeline is different from anyone else's. It's important to stay focused on your own goals and not get sidetracked by external distraction. The key to reaching success is consistency, staying on course no matter what happens around you. Another critical element of persistence is the ability to adapt. Sometimes things don't go according to plan, and that's okay. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, and you may have to adjust your approach. Being persistent doesn't mean sticking to the same path no matter what. It means being flexible and open to new solutions when things don't go as expected. Adapting to new circumstances and learning from each experience will make you even more equipped to succeed in the future. Many people give up just before they reach their breakthrough, thinking that success is unattainable. They may have tried many times only to encounter failure or disappointment, but what they often don't realize is that the moment before they give up could be the moment when things are about to click into place. Success often requires getting through the hardest part, the part where everything seems impossible. The darkest hour is often just before the dawn, and the breakthrough can come when you least expect it if you just keep going. It's important to remind yourself that persistence is not just about the external results. It's also about personal growth. Each time you push through adversity, you become stronger, more capable, and more resilient. These experiences shape you and prepare you for the next chapter of your journey. Success is not just about what you achieve, but also about who you become in the process. It's about developing qualities like determination, patience, and the willingness to learn from every experience.